right. Now we're turning to you. Who in the audience has a question for the candidates? Go ahead, green shirt, and speak up, please.
Hi, I'm Sarah Standiford. I'm the executive director of the Maine Women's Lobby and She Decides campaign. On this last point that you were making, and we heard a lot this morning about the kind of unfocused strategies that we have to help incumbent workers, adults, access higher education, and particularly for older women who are seeking to get a degree and a well-paying job. We really need to focus there, we think. So my question is, what strategies would you apply? We have some great programs in the state, like Parents as Scholars, like Competitive Skills Scholarship Program, that match pathways to a degree program with the support services like childcare and transportation that makes it possible to succeed in the degree program. What would you support those, and what other strategies would you employ for adult workers?
All right. You want to answer first,
Yeah,
Kevin?
I definitely would support those programs, and I'm very excited about She Decides and what you folks do. I've received so many emails from your group, and I've replied to each and every one of them. I think that in this white paper, there's a proposal for a 50% tax credit for employers who are going to target reimbursement of education and tuition. And I think through these support mechanisms, we might be able to tie some conditional to that refund and that tax credit to working and making sure they're working with the support systems, so that the employer by themselves isn't out there in the big world of, a lot of employers aren't necessarily geared towards tuition reimbursement programs as well as an Intel or an IBM or someone who's done it forever. So I think making sure that your groups are engaged in the process at the employer level, maybe a liaison that is active in the entire group. I'm not sure if 50% is the right number. I did think, however, in the white paper that the 50% reimbursement, how about we just confirm that the person works for the company and cut the tuition in half? Why go all around with these funds and juggle them all around and lose efficiency there? That would be my approach.
Would any of the other candidates like to respond to Sarah's question? Libby, go ahead.
I would just like to say there are programs that work, like college transitions. We know that people need supports if they're entering the higher education world for the first time. So I guess I would also turn it back to the community colleges and the universities to challenge them to work on reducing their dropout rate. College retention, community college retention, they're already working on it, but they're going to have to work a lot harder, because as non-traditional students enter into that realm, they do need more supports to stay there.
All right. Paul, go ahead.
Yeah, I really think that a public-private partnership again, because we at Martin's have put together a scholarship program with Kennebec Valley Community College. And over the last several years, they give as many as 20 full boat scholarships a year from the investments they've made with the off the principal. And I think that that's very, very important, because these people are all people that are adults going back in for retraining into a different career. And that's really where we focus, is in the region where, Central Maine region. But I think that works very well. Also, as an employer, we take great pride in having employees go on to school and pay their tuition once they complete the course.
All right. Elliot or Kevin, would you all? Go ahead.
When you
Sean.
when you exclude from our roles of public assistance in the state of Maine the elderly and the disabled, I think I'm right in recalling that 62% of the families who are left are single mothers with 1 or 2 children. And you cannot expect them, I don't think, to go to education. We have to figure out how to bring education to them, whether it's by distance learning or by some of the programs that have been referenced this afternoon. But what I would caution everybody to remember about meeting this need and about meeting so many other needs we have in the state of Maine, there's not going to be any new money anytime soon. It is a horrible, horrible truth, but it is the truth. And so we've got to figure out how to make the wonderful efforts that we make all over the state, with public-private partnerships, with private efforts, with foundations, work better to help get women in particular, single mothers, heading families, into education and into the workforce.
Sean, would you like to respond to Sarah's question?
Sure. Got some really good comments that have come forward. My mom raised the 3 of us as a single mom, cutting hair, so we can certainly relate to that. I think, you know, we got to look at web-based solutions too as well. Technology is a big part of all of our lives. You know, we can reach into people's homes through technology. Web-based training is more prevalent now today than it has been. And I think the other side of it is going back to the small business community, and there's a lot of women small business entrepreneurs out there. They need that hand-holding. If you've got a 3 or 5 person company, you can't just drop what you're doing during the day and go, you know, pursue and sign up for courses and things like that. So the outreach has really got to be strong, as was mentioned, to hold people's hand. And once you get them started and they see the merit of it and see the benefits, it's just extraordinary. We've experienced it, and it's one of the biggest reasons why our company has grown and continued to grow as it has. It's big.